While I'd love to give props for integrating two logos seamlessly into the movie in just 15 seconds, the fact that there is a box labeled Focus Features and one labeled Leica in this actual world is making my head collapse in on itself.
The unspeakable has happened. We must speak of it immediately.
The movie is just pointing out its own sins, as if that has ever made anyone immune to the will of the sin counter.
Horrible tragedy. Let's deal with it in the morning.
Parrots.
All right then, but prepare to say bye-bye to your brie.
Marvel's future response when fans don't show up for the Marvels somehow makes it into the script.
Very well. Every box troll gone. With proof.
Thinking you can prove a negative.
I will destroy every last Boxtroll in this town.
I assure you we would have caught on by the end of the movie that this guy is evil without him being so extra right now. Building your city on Earth's nipple.
They will add your flesh to their rivers of blood.
Fear gotta be mongered and all that, sure, but if these creatures had created multiple troll-made rivers of blood, you would think a lot of people would have seen them, and such a lack of evidence would have hipped everybody to this guy's jive.
Hide your tender and delicious babies.
Assuming you know the relative taste and delicateness of someone's infant. Animators making this top-heavy bullshit with 3 wheels, so I have to feel the anxiety of an impending rollover for the whole film. I'm just gonna get this out of the way now. This movie is visually stunning and so inventive. The amount of effort and artistry that is on display in every frame is astonishing, and I'd be a troll if I didn't take a sin off for it. But also, I actually am a troll. Everyone buys into Archie's myth of them being bloodthirsty, even though the Boxtrolls have been seemingly living in Cheesebridge for years. Has no one looked out their window and seen them getting up to their antics? Admiring your number 2. Trying to hum along to a tune you've never heard before. You know what, I'll just say it. Humming along to any tune, whether you know it or not. Let the rest of us actually hear the artist and keep your noises to yourself. No one wants a hummer. Wait.
My foot had a pretty nasty bunion once.
Once?
Had to saw her off.
Saw it off! Bunions are not warts. Bunions are a skeletal issue that happens when the big toe shifts outward. You don't saw them off. You either live with the pain or you pay close to 10 grand to have a surgeon operate on your toe bones. That's right, the sin is healthcare.
We are the good guys.
And now we know they are the bad guys. Having Mr. Gristle crash through this fence just so we'd do a Kool-Aid Man outtake. Not locking the very obvious entrance to your super secret hideout. Oh, and also having a sign that directly indicates this is the entrance to your super secret hideout. The movie has the trolls speak a gibberish troll language all the times, except the ones where it needs the audience to understand them. Then they conveniently and arbitrarily speak English words, creating a kids movie where your troll antagonists jam a bunch of things into a toaster and having it seem like a fun time. Also doing the nipple slap dance just because you managed to turn the lights on. There's no way he could feel that through the cardboard. I could barely get a good-ass scratch through denim. Also, not immediately consulting a doctor for an itchy box. This music box plays on for all the some time considering Fish only gave it 2 half turns. This nightly game of Jenga scared me into thinking I got roped into another Cube prequel. Cardboard Cube, and you thought paper cuts were bad. Considering Fish and Eggs are named after their box choices, the movie really fails us by not giving us more on how this character feels about being named Knickers. With all these different shapes and sizes of boxes, the movie doesn't explain clearly enough how these creatures so instinctively know how to assimilate into this perfect cube. Also, didn't they lose a few people today in the Upworld? Wouldn't that throw off the sleeping arrangements? Also, it has to suck to be the one stuck with the bottom center slots. All the heat and pressure of everyone else, and no ability to escape if you need to relieve yourself, unless they just pee in the boxes, at which point the bottom center would suck even more. This music box is now being wound clockwise, despite being wound counterclockwise the night before. This warped-ass record with nonsense grooves actually plays music. Also, this is the least barbershop quartet music to ever barbershop quartet. Disgusting. You have to de-wing those things first, man. That shit gets stuck in your teeth. Oil has oil, but eggs doesn't have eggs. Completely destroying the logic in this scene. Box shaming. Wait, what? We're just jumping ahead a decade and everyone is still partying down in Box World? How has Snatcher not wiped him out yet? Started to think he doesn't really want that white hat. Making smashing light bulbs look just as fun as it is in real life. Making me scared they're gonna Jack Harmon this kid. Foreshadowing. No, you don't get to jump ahead 10 years and then do the diminishing of the box populi unless you show us why Snatcher took a 10-year hiatus from hunting them. The Sleeping Cube is about 5 by 5 by 5 when it starts, so there are somewhere around 125 box people down here. First night, we saw him snag 3 box people. Snatcher could literally average a box a week and still be done in under 3 years. Shu is an absolute liability, and none of the other trolls take him to task on that.
Boxtrolls.
Thinking a single trash can lid is enough for you to start making us roll credits.
Does smell delicious. I suppose we could do with a nibble first.
This town's combined annual plumbing costs.
But we do have this school funding initiative to vote on. Been sitting here for months. All in favour of cutting open the Roquefort next. Aye!
These guys are villains just as much as Snatcher is, and that will be completely glossed over by the end of this.
There's a woman with some cheese on her bones.
This man's strange theories about digestion.
A lady like that is like a fine brie. Raw. Dangerous. Maybe a little stinky. But one taste and you'll be begging for
I wish these guys would just the cheeses and get on with it. Not installing your hook lock at the top of your way more locks than a door could ever need cliché.
Boy, why would she call me that?
Not understanding a simple word from the language that you inexplicably speak fluently.
One doesn't acquire a white hat by simply picking it up off the street.
I'm more concerned at how this brim acquired these dirty thumbprints on the side of the hat, since Snatcher only held it on the other side. And for that matter, if you zoom and enhance, which I can, you can see that when he lets go, there are no dirt spots on the brim at all. Lord Portly Rind now wears the hat he had sent off to be cleaned for a smudge of brie, even though it hasn't been cleaned, and had additional smudges of soot. A clear indication that the hat being sent for a washing was something the plot required, and not him.
I did see a boy.
Yes, we know. We saw him too. Sorry, just assumed you were talking to us since you're still talking out loud in an empty room.
Grab hold!
Our holding hands will be the key to surviving this 100-foot fall! Wait, was his hand powering the record? Or did the player just randomly run out of juice the second he decided to lift his finger? I'm so very confused about the sudden magical record touching.
Why do we do this, Shu? Carry on like everything is normal.
Boy raised by gibberish-speaking trolls who eat bugs and live in decrepit boxes will now have a very poignant and emotionally mature conversation with himself because he learned emotional intelligence from barbershop records, I guess?
I'll find you, fish.
Finding Nemo ripoffs.
Get your picture taken with the Trubshaw baby.
Looks more like you get your picture taken as the Trubshaw baby. Also, that's right, the one day Eggs decides to go topside is the exact day of the year they celebrate his disappearance. Movie's got a movie, but Sinner's got a sin.
From the long-lost land of Czechoslovakia.
That's racist. Oh, closed-minded partners.
I need a helper from the audience.
Asks for a random helper and then does a musical number that would require a significant amount of choreography. Archibald is singing about how Egg's father loved him like regular fathers did and never gets to the reason why he was irregular. Do they not have Metamucil? Not putting in the effort to build a time machine to go forward and find Bianca Del Rio to come back and play this role. Also, look, exposition via a highly detailed song and a drag show is one of the best possible expositions for sure, but dragposition is still forced exposition and therefore technically a sin. This song is well into its second minute, but the crowd volunteer was only used in the first 30 seconds. That's just a poor use of free labor. But of course, Winnie's just now leaving the stage so Eggs can see her, even though she's been done for ages, because how else is the movie supposed to put these two together again? Special wacky wiener deal. Knocking over a bunch of apples just because they're in your way certainly makes you an asshole.
Here, buy a book on how to be a better thief.
Larceny literacy. Larciteracy? Neither of them acknowledges this coin balancing perfectly on his nose or plays the lotto immediately after this.
With their mountains of baby bones and rivers of blood.
Psychotic kids.
How do I get there?
Curds way. Milk turns into it.
This fallen symbol would be excellent at CinemaSins.
Let's grasp our dreams and shove them down everyone's throats.
Twitter, or whatever Elon's calling Twitter these days. Strike that. Elon Musk. This sin is for me pausing this movie right at the point where our antagonist has 6 arms and never being able to sleep again. Also, this table spins a full 1.5 times before the cheese plate arrives in front of him, and that seems unlikely.
Aromatic, oaky, with an undertone of a mother's smile on a warm spring day.
Knowing what your mom's smile tastes like. Instead of keeping fish with the other Boxtrolls, he is caged in plain view of anyone who enters the warehouse. Funny how this is convenient for Eggs, but not so much for Archie.
I've worked my ass off for this town, wading through wet garbage, crawling after monsters. What has Portly Rind ever done?
The thing is, he's kind of right. He is, of course, dealing with it all wrong, but the man has a point, and the movie hardly tries to get at the nuance of that.
Mother of sausage.
Holy meat glove.
The mutual disappointment of my college girlfriend and I seeing each other's naughty bits for the first time makes its way into the script.
You've got to help me, fish.
It's true, like they always say, teach a fish to escape, Wait, fish for an escape, boy lives for a day. No, that's not right. Escape for a boy, fish for a day, teach a fish to boy, escape for a lifetime. Woo! Nailed it.
Open the workshop, Mr. Trout.
Bad guys, wait for the perfect moment to reveal the workshop to Eggs and the audience. I can only assume your disbelief is that a man could be suspended upside down like that for any extended length of time and survive. It looks like he's been there for years, and no amount of leeches are going to save you from that kind of head rush.
Boxtrolls don't hurt anyone.
Well, Eggs, that depends on your definition of hurt. Some would argue that stealing a wheel off the cart that someone uses to make a living every day constitutes a direct and clear form of harm. For instance, I would argue that. Eggs jumps down onto the rope. Then the rope swings sideways out of the hands of Mr. Pickles. Then Eggs is somehow accelerated perpendicular to the rope's previous direction of travel. This stunt doesn't even obey the nonsense physics of this movie. Free hotel breakfasts.
I'm swinging on a chain!
He's not swinging at all.
Why aren't they ripping out our eyeballs and eating our faces?
Experiencing a bad case of famoof.
Who gave me to you?
Just a reminder as Fish goes into a bit of gibberish exposition that this language should 100% absolutely unequivocally and without any doubts be the language that Eggs should speak, and every time he speaks English fluently my blood boils.
He says, a long time ago, there was a kind man.
Funny because I heard I'm going to now deliver a bunch of exposition via flashback.
Who's up for a jelly break?
No one, stop it.
Wait, what?
They killed him.
Not only does the audience already know that isn't true, but you've also got enough info to put together that the man you saw below with the imprisoned trolls could be that man as well. At the very least, you should be curious and not just sad. But this movie wants you sad, and so sad you shall be.
All right, first things first. Off with the box.
Superficial relationship demands. Also, the rest of these guys are buck-ass naked out of their boxes, but Eggs is not. And that's a good thing, but it's like a kilt. How much can you claim to be a box troll if you're not going to properly wear the traditional garb?
Stop! Oh, you don't scratch there in public.
Well, now with that attitude, you don't.
For this to work, there are a few things you need to know.
And I waited until you're at the door to tell you all of them. You're welcome. And may the odds be ever in your favor.
Hello, Mummy dear.
Oh, who is this?
Casting Toni Collette and then waiting until 54 minutes in for her first line. This guy's head looks like it's on backward. Holy Jesus! Damn! We did not need to see that!
Lord Portly Rhyme!
Also leaving your big stinky vomit cheese plate on the hors d'oeuvre table like a landmine.
I present the Behemoth!
Going with this instead of Ossia Goliath, mozzarella, or Carmen barely fits in the room.
We have to get to your father.
You can't just cut through.
Yeah, plus going around is much easier.
We dance.
What the
Just make a box.
You made me get out of my box.
With your feet, silly.
I hope that joke was worth it, because for the life of me, I don't see anyone dancing here making a box with their feet. I see some triangles, a few cross steps, one person writing a Latin spelling of Jehovah with their feet, but I see no boxes. This cheese would have likely destroyed the door. But the way these people love cheese, I think they would have preferred to lose the door than the cheese.
I am the Trubshaw baby.
Using the improper verb tense. You were the Trubshaw baby, Eggs. Now you are the Trubshaw whiny adolescent.
If you won't listen to me, ask Snatcher himself.
This doesn't work. This town badly needs an optometrist, I guess.
People are just mean and selfish. They're monsters.
It wouldn't be a movie if our protagonist didn't hit rock bottom right before the third act. You know, it would be nice if movies could think outside the box occasionally.
How's that for an entrance?
Dramatical.
Don't you mean dramatic?
No, I think he means hyperbolic and implausible with a touch of try-hardical.
Get up! That thing will kill you!
You would think that, and you would assume it would have killed one or two life forms just by crashing through the ceiling, but nope. Despite all the maniacal laughing, nothing is harmed in this scene, teaching us all a horrible lesson and stunting the survival skills of an entire generation. Instead of trying to kill the Boxtrolls, why is he not marketing and selling this incredible vacuum technology? He'd probably be the richest man in Cheesebridge. He could get anaphylaxis with whomever whenever he wanted. How is Snatcher standing on the absolute furnace that is burning right below him? This machine should have fried him seconds after starting up. Are hanging cages more effective for some reason? Asking for a friend. Did he really need this mech suit? Like 80% of the Boxtrolls had already been captured using conventional means. Had to fix a problem that didn't exist.
I like jelly. Jelly!
Liking jelly this much without an accompanying nut butter.
Rapture senior lovely kid, the same as regular fathers did.
He's my father.
That's a nice villainous plan reveal you got there, Archie. It included a callback and everything. Look at you go.
A decade hanging upside down, scrambled his noodles good.
You mispronounced should have killed him within the first day.
You changed your nature.
I'm a Boxtroll and I stockpiling, so you can too.
Did he, though? He's a human, and they are Boxtrolls, whatever they may be. Just saying, this hardly seems like enough evidence to support your sudden hypothesis regarding nature versus nurture. And if that is the road the movie wanted to go down, maybe it should spend more than a minute of runtime exploring that. We will eventually find out that these shaking boxes means the Boxtrolls got out of their boxes. But all 125 of them doing this that quickly without disturbing the stack of boxes is some Harry Copperfield and Teller kind of shit, and I'm not buying it.
Flattened to extinction. Every slimy one of them.
The fact that none of them have noticed the distinct lack of blood or viscera amongst any of these boxes yet is dumb.
I said I would not rest until I caught the very last Boxtroll. I am a man of my word.
How does no one see that this is the same exact costume from the musical production earlier?
Musician, drum roll.
Given how no one in this town asks obvious questions, they didn't even need a person or Boxtroll in this costume. They could have slapped this head on a box and burned that.
People love a flawed hero.
The theory behind every single TV show made after 2007 somehow makes it into the movie. Who brought the bucket of leeches? And why?
But how? I saw you crushed.
You did not, you asshole.
But you've broken our agreement.
Why is he talking like Madame Frou? Oh my God. I regret so much.
Do you regret how poorly that joke continues to age? Because I think that's what you should be regretting here. Also, this is somehow better evidence of Archibald and Frou-Frou being the same person than that time you saw his wig removed right in front of you, making your final boss battle a game of machine in the middle. Before this unexplained vacuum hose sucked the Boxtrolls into a cage, but now it will suck water right into this fireplace that I assume is the engine, because that is what the god of this story needs. This asshole got his hat back. These two are dead from broken necks, but it's animation, so I guess these two are dead from broken animated necks. Forgetting the protein in your omelet. Swelling makes him more powerful, for reasons.
I present the tastiest cheese known to man, made from the milk of the male lactating fruit bats in Borneo.
Someone at some point set out on a mission to milk bats, found a bat they didn't understand, and milked it anyway. Stealing your ending from a sketch in Monty Python's The Meaning of Life. I mean, there are worse places to steal from, but stealing is still a sin.
My little angel, my weird little angel.
This whole town was cool with murdering the Boxtrolls before. Not a single one of them was asking any questions about it. Are we supposed to forget that? None of these people deserve a happy ending, but here we are. Seriously, did she even have another line after her first and only line at the party? How do you cast Toni Collette and then have her do absolutely nothing? This is an outrage. You have Toni Collette and you blew it.
And there are giants looking down on us.
And every time we move,
It's actually them moving us.
Wait a second. Is this actually an interesting mid-credit scene? Couldn't possibly be. There's no such thing. I guess I'll go myself then.
Oh, what's in the box?
oh, I don't want money.
I want to buy some cheese.
Lock your windows, bolt your doors.
Hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband because they're everybody out here.
Precious! Slimy yet satisfying.
Who's there?
I am the one who knocks.
Exterminate!
Exterminate? Get this guy. See how we don't exterminate you.
Tell me everything!
Charlie bit me.
A Boxtroll cannot choose a new life because a Boxtroll does not aspire to be anything more than a weak, lowly pest.
But if you make yourself more than just a man, if you devote yourself to an ideal, and if they can't stop you, then you become something else entirely.
Actually, it's getting better. It is. Let's not go. Anyone up for Scrabble?
When you meet someone, you must look them in the eye and shake hands.
Jazz hands.
I know because.
I'm Spartacus.
They can change. They can do it.
If I can change, and you can change.
With this hat, I state your name.
With this hat, I
State your name.
come back and let me hit you.
Never gonna give, never gonna give.